On this is Chris Bedford, the Beltway Brief author, and Joe Borelli, former New York City minority leader and managing director of Chartwell Strategy Group. So, Joe, I think it's really important to point out that Mamdani is saying that he wants to globalize the Intifada, which means blowing up cafes, buses, concerts, and we've seen this violent movement occurring in New York City on campuses like Columbia, for example. And yet this is something that he endorses. And he talks about the NYPD working with the IDF. Well, they partner on counterterrorism measures, and yet he wants to get rid of that partnership in New York City.
Yeah, as you said, the reason why the NYPD has a partnership with the IDF is because there are repeatedly threats to Jewish institutions, not Israeli, right? Anti-Israel often takes the form of anti-Semitism. But we have a serious threat against Jewish institutions in this city. And if it was not for smart leadership in the NYPD, who has partnerships with the IDF, God knows what could have happened elsewhere. The problem with Zohran Mamdani is not that he is, just anti-Israel. It's that, as the CNN pollster Harry Enton just pointed out, the Democratic Party has adopted this mantra against Jewish New Yorkers and Jewish Americans. And it's unfortunate that he was rewarded with this primary win.
So the president, Chris, has noticed this rhetoric by this mayoral candidate and has threatened to take him on. He said he's going to save New York City, which, of course, is his home city, from a communist lunatic. This is what he said on Truth Social. He said, as president of the United States, I'm not going to let this communist lunatic destroy New York. Rest assured, I hold all the levers and have all the cards. I'll save New York City and make it hot and great again, just like I did with the good old USA. And Mamdani is saying that, basically his threats to arrest him are based on race and other things.
No, the threats to arrest him are just fun trolling. We currently have the funniest president we'll ever have in our entire lives. Kind of like how when Democrats wanted to stop talking about immigration and illegal immigration after L.A., Trump opened up Alligator Alcatraz. Like, oh, you're going to talk about it now. But the federal government does have a lot of power over local and state powers. We know this because Democrats have fought repeatedly, over and over again, and won cases in courts with Democrat-sympathetic judges that have allowed people like President Barack Obama and President Joe Biden to exercise an incredible amount of control, investigating police departments that are actually protecting the civil rights of people, investigating universities. We've seen this go on with the Trump administration to great effect. The ability that Joe Biden showed us to investigate the mayor of New York. If you want to find someone doing something illegal, just send an investigation team. They'll find it.
Right. Yeah, so, Joe, politically, Democrats are having a hard time finding their footing after losing in November nationally. And now you're seeing these candidates like Mamdani pop up, and now he has support from the likes of David Hogg. But others like Stephen A. Smith are warning Democrats, if you take this part of the party and let them run the show, you're going to be in real trouble. Take a listen.
Let me be very, very clear. If the Democratic Party becomes the likes of Zohran Mamdani, who, by the way, I like. I'm not trying to throw any shade on him or anything like that, but if the Democratic Party becomes him, you have no chance.
Seems like they're becoming him, Joe. That's where they're going.
Yeah, and we did see this just after his 2016 victory, where in big cities, in progressive cities, there was a retrenchment of the wildest, furthest left Democrats. And I think that's what you're seeing play out again here in New York, most notably. Stephen A. Smith is correct. If the Democratic Party adopts the policies and politics of Zohran Mamdani, they will lose every race. I'll give the guy credit. He ran a very effective race, and he talked about issues that matter to voters. The problem is the solutions, quote unquote, that he has for these issues only make New York City's problems worse and bring this city even more decay. It's an unfortunate death cycle that New York City's about to enter into, but we still do have a chance of beating him in the general election in November.
Well, Chris, it's not like we haven't seen these type of communist socialist policies implemented in big countries around the world, like Venezuela, for example. I mean, this is a serious issue. But it's always interesting when democratic socialists like Mamdani show up without a real record of actually doing much other than coming off as charismatic, doing some stuff on social media. I mean, when he was in office as an assemblyman, he missed a ton of votes when he was supposed to be in Albany. So he didn't even show up for that job.
Well, Democrats aren't very good at governing. They're not good at governing any of the cities that they run. They struggle to govern some of the states, except for the capital and the finance that already exists in those states. A lot of the times that's actually fleeing. City after city after city is in serious trouble because they can't govern their way out of a bag. They can't govern the DMV, which they have a lot of power in.
Yeah.
But this is something you're going to see with the Democratic Party going forward. The Chuck Schumers and the Nancy Pelosi's are aging out. That poll's changed because people have aged out, and the young voters, they back this sort of thing.
And the Democratic Party, at least.
Yes.
Not sure overall. All right, Chris and Joe, thank you both so much.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.